hear that? Did you recognize it? Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. What has that got to do with philately? Let's learn about this and more in this episode of The year is 1941. Less than a quarter of a century since World War I had ended, and now we have a world at war. Nazi Germany is basically in control of most of Europe. The Allies, led by Winston Churchill, are badly in need of a victory, and out comes Winston Churchill and holds up his two fingers in the form of a V. What's the story behind that V? That's actually quite an interesting story. V for victory. Now, it turns out that he was not the first one to use that V for victory. He didn't invent it. We can say that he was the first one to use it. The person who actually invented was a Belgian lawyer. The word for V is victory in English and in French. Now, a funny incident about that V sign is that the correct one is going like this. But Winston Churchill often had a cigar in his hands, and he often had it the opposite way around. Of the mobility, and he did not know that was a real no-no. It's a rude gesture. His private secretary whispered it to him one day, and he said, "Okay, doesn't matter. I can say give it to the Germans at the same time and say peace for victory." Cool story, right? Now, all this is very nice and nice piece of history, but what has that got to do with philately? Okay. So in 1941, the British said, okay, let's issue our slogan of V for victory. And they came out with this cover, this slogan. Now, the same slogan was in use. In 1945, they actually added bells to that slogan. They acted victory bells. And the ones with the bells were going to be issued after an actual victory, after they had won the war. Wishful thinking. But the first one was issued in May 1945 after Europe fell, and the second one in August of 1945 when Japan fell. Now, listen again to what I said at the beginning. Listen to this carefully. You hear it? Again. Did you hear it? Okay. Did you hear da 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 da? Okay. Now look again at the slogan. You see the 3 dots there and a dash? Basically, 3 dots and a dash is V for V in Morse Code. Now, because this was adopted, the opening bars of Beethoven's Fifth Symphony became a rallying point for victory. I find it quite ironic that a piece by a German composer, Beethoven, was used as an anthem against the Nazis. Now, before I sign off, I want to say thank you for your comments, especially about the last post, about the post-war. And I've been asked to do some more, and I probably will, maybe about this stamp that's behind me now. And for the meantime, thank you very much. Keep watching, and bye.